Hi there, this is Ronnie coming at you with a video. It would appear that my attempt to do one Savage Worlds game at my friendly local gaming store has doubled. I am now going to be running 2 Savage Worlds games at my friendly local gaming store. Very, very different. And whilst I have, for the most part, been buying companions for the Savage Worlds rules, I do now have a couple of campaign settings. I do have Pirates of the Spanish Main, but that is more a game that uses the Savage Worlds rules as opposed to a campaign setting. And what I mean by that is all the rules that you need are contained in that one book. It's a standalone game. You don't need the Savage Worlds rulebook to play Pirates of the Spanish Main. I do have Marchland, which is a modern urban fantasy setting, and I do intend to run something with that. But upcoming, first of all, is a game that's being run using this. This is the Last Parsec. It's a sci-fi setting, yes. It's trying to do that very difficult thing of straddling between hard sci-fi and space opera. You know, trying to be all things to all people. It's rather unusual with the Last Parsec because you not only need the core rulebook, you actually need the science fiction companion as well in order to run it, which obviously I do own. And as such, it's more an extension. It gives more of a background for the setting. The only thing that I'm slightly annoyed at is that it's a little thin, folks. But you know, could have done with more. But I know there were adventures released before this sort of core rulebook came out. But you know, I was kind of looking for something. Is it Mindjammer that's out for Fate? Huge, kind of 200-300 page thick sci-fi game for Fate. Something like that for Savage Worlds would be nice. But and yes, I know Slipstream's out there, but I don't have Slipstream, so you know, tough. But I do have this. So I'm going to be running a game over the next few weeks using Last Parsec as the base for my game, and I am calling my game The Judas Paradox. I've done a quickie video on this. It's evolved from my original idea. Things have sort of changed and adapted. I don't want to give up too much just now, just in case any of my players actually see this video. But suffice this to say, I am looking forward to doing it. The other one that I've been asked to do came about when someone messaged me and asked me if I were prepared to run Call of Cthulhu. And that's a game system I have not run in a good decade now. It's been a long time since I ran Cthulhu. To any extent. So I was kind of keen to do it. And we were talking last Sunday about possible games. And I mentioned that I was getting a steampunk setting for Savage Worlds. And I'm intrigued and all the rest of it. So that very quickly, the lady in question, Lucy, went and talked to the other gamers who want to be part of the game, and they all agreed that they wanted to play steampunk, which is why other than the fact I was very intrigued to see how Savage Worlds would do it, I have this, which is the widening gear, which came this morning. So I'm going to have a right good look at this. Nice, thick, 200 pages. I have what I consider to be the best steampunk game going. The only problem that it has is that for very new players, and most of the people who are going to be playing in this game have never played a role-playing game before, is that it's not typical of a role-playing game. It doesn't use dice and it doesn't use a structured character sheet. It's not a typical sort of idea of a role-playing game, and I'm very tempted, as much as I'd be tempted to use Falkenstein, I'm more tempted to give them something which is more representative of the hobby, which has a character sheet, which has dice, but is a simple enough rule set that they're not scratching their head. And for me, this could just be about the way to do it. So what I essentially am going to do is run a Castle Falkenstein game, but using Savage Worlds. So that one is getting written. I already have a name for that one. The adventure will be called Shadows in Silver Glass. And I'm looking forward to doing that one. I must admit, I'm intrigued at the idea, first of all, of using Savage Worlds for steampunk. I did buy a thing called it was a kind of Victorian set game rule set, but it turned out to be a player's guide. It was very thin, there wasn't a lot of information in it, and there was a few typos and I wasn't impressed. Gaslight, that's the name of it, and I wasn't impressed, I must admit. So this one is a bit fuller, which I like. Obviously I have, fantasy companion, sci-fi companion, superpowers companion, horror companion, so I can quite happily throw in the odd curveball in terms of adversaries and ideas, should I require them. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this works. It is not going to overtake my #1 game at all. It just won't. But I think it will be interesting as an exercise to see whether I can reproduce the flavour of my favourite game using a different rule set. And that I like. I like that challenge. So I'm going to do it. So, quick video from me, just to let everyone know. Oh god, he's going to be GMing a lot.